Hey you guys, and welcome to my channel. This is part 2 of a series that I'm doing, dating after narcissistic abuse. If you haven't checked out part 1, I highly recommend it. We talked about things such as doing the work, definitely not dating out of need or anxiety. We talked about how to have control of a situation without being controlling. We talked about knowing the art of seduction. We talked about putting yourself out there. We talked about dating with a goal, and then we talked about tapping into our feminine energy. So I will link that video to the end of this one, and I'll drop it down in the description as well. All right, so I have a whole new set of topics here in part 2, and honestly, I feel like I could have about 20 parts to this series because there's so many things to talk about, ladies. So many things. And if you are a male viewer, chiming in or listening to this video, you may find that this is, basically more for the female audience, but it's not like you can't listen and take something from it, just like in the part 1. All right. And, some of these things you can put from the masculine energy, just, replace it because it's stuff that neither side should be doing anyway. Okay. So I'm directing it right now to the female survivors primarily. But like I said in the part 1 video, it's not like the masculine energy or my male viewers can't take anything from this as well. All right. So the first thing that I have here on the list is concern with panicking when a guy pulls away. All right. So I definitely wanted to address that in this video. Because guys do that. Sometimes they go ghost on you, or you might notice, hey, he seemed really into me and now his interest seems to drop, but we don't know what's going on. That's the thing. But a lot of times survivors are coming from all those negative experiences, and then we tend to think the worst of things. All right. Oh, he must not care about me anymore. Or, it has to be something horrible, but anything could have happened. He could have lost his phone. He could have had a busy day at work. Oh, I'm used to him calling me every day and he missed today, So these are the things that I want you guys to work on, trying to stay more positive minded. You can take note of stuff without, making it the worst case scenario. You can consider all angles without making it the worst case scenario without knowing first. You never know what the guy is doing. He could have been dating a bunch of women and maybe, he was getting rid of some of them because he's going to keep you around. He wants to go further with you, and he needed that day to, let this woman know to cut her loose. And you're, and then you're panicking, and it's actually something that's going to be going in your favor. But either way, I want you to look at a guy pulling away as going in your favor no matter what. See, that's when you're looking at that bigger picture. It's good for you no matter what. Because if he's pulling away, and in since most communication is nonverbal, he's letting you know in his behavior, it's a possibility that, he's taken some steps away from you, or he's going to end that connection. And if he does, it's his loss, isn't it? That's not a personal reflection of yours. That's his option on his journey in life. And there's billions of other guys here on the planet. Like, why am I going to get stuck up on you? If you want to lose a good thing, if you don't see my worth, or if you think somebody else or the grass is greener or whatever, do it. And you could have been chasing off a narcissist. He could have been getting to know you. And then like, oh, this is going to be a lot of work. I'm putting on my mask. I'm keeping a strong face. I'm trying not to crack, but this girl is making me jump through so many loops, and I'm just not used to that. That's not even what I was looking for. I think I'd rather deal with Sally over here because she's naive. She don't even know, and I can get her a lot easier. So I'm going to take some of the energy away from what I'm giving her, and I'm going to direct it over here. And I ain't going to cut her loose completely, but I'm going to fall off of her some because I need something quicker right now. Maybe she might fall in line in between. We'll see. But, you just really don't know what a guy is thinking. It could be a million things. It could be a million things, ladies. All right. So if you're just dating and is not yet exclusive, He doesn't have to call you every day. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't be so emotionally attached to where you need that call every day. All right. Raise my hand, the ladies in this room that actually enjoy their freedom. They enjoy time away from their guy because their world doesn't revolve around them. Okay. Like, we all need a break sometimes, even if it's good. Like, look, I like my space, I like having some space. To me, it's two individuals coming together, and they're still two individuals. I'm not enmeshing with you. That's just not going to happen. So I want you guys to also understand that, there's a lot of science out there too that studies guys pulling away. And a lot of time, if you Google the rubber band effect with men, or women are from Venus and men are from Mars type of situation, you study those books and stuff, they kind of insinuate here that men pull away before they increase the intimacy with you. So actually, one of the signs of him getting closer to you, he might pull away at first. So don't crack. Don't act like your world is going to fall apart. Don't make it the most negative thing. Just continue to be busy living your own life. I mean, you can make note of it. An intelligent woman does. But wait and see if it's just a rubber band situation, or if it's him trying to find a balance. If he was spending a whole lot of time with you and then he needs that moment to, have his me time, which you should need as well. Like, who wants to keep that cycle going where we're up under each other 24 hours a day? Look, we need a space from it. And that's good, because science also shows when he takes that space, he's building up his testosterone so that he can come back to your estrogen, because he was losing to the testosterone while he was all up with you. Okay. And then he started feeling too much estrogen. He had to go get the testosterone. What that would be like, hanging out with his boys, doing his sports, going to go play basketball, taking a weekend trip with the guys, whatever. But if you guys are only just dating, don't get like that. And sometimes survivors get clingy when they finally find somebody that they want and they want to keep an eye on them. But what's yours is yours, right, ladies? So you don't have to be insecure about that. And that kind of makes me want to jump down the list here to my number 6. I'm going to go ahead because it just makes sense. And while I'm talking about that, and that's in regards to sweating other chicks. Look, let's be realistic. Let's be realistic here. Chances are when you meet a guy, he had something going on in the background or in the foreground, okay? He has something going on, meaning chances are he's dating other women. He's dating other women at the time that he approaches you. But he's approaching you because he's still keeping his options open, right? So it's something about those other women that have not satisfied him enough to close that door. It's either that or he's just a dog and a cheater and he'll never be faithful even to his wife. You can figure that out too. You'll be able to figure that out. All right. But here's the thing. Sometimes survivors, they could get intimidated by that. Especially if this is a guy with much to offer, cream of the crop type of guys, they sample, they take samples. And when I say samples, it doesn't mean that he has to sleep with you, meaning they date a variety of girls and then they take the best choice. Rarely is it going to be a one-on-one thing when you're on a level of dating. Now, once it becomes exclusive, it should be, unless you guys came to other arrangements or agreements, and that will be between two consenting adults, right? But I'm talking about on the level of dating. Okay, you guys just met each other, you're just exchanging numbers, and you haven't even gone on your first date, or you've gone on 1 or 2 or 3 dates only. You know what I'm saying? It's not exclusive. Chances are he may be talking to and getting to know other girls. So you can start gauging, where you're ranking here with how much more time he's starting to put into you, You can start gauging it by that. Oh, he's starting to spend more time with you. It's taking energy from one of those other girls. So either she got dropped or she's about to get dropped. But, you can see that progression. But here's the thing. a lot of times, because survivors are used to overgiving, overextending themselves, they're requiring so much from that other person because they're overgiving for where you are, where you are in a relationship. This is an example right here. Let's say you're dating this guy and you move into sex pretty fast with him. Now, the typical woman will get emotionally attached. And it's the way that is biologically set up. You're not crazy. It's just the way that it's set up. We release those bonding hormones when we have sex with people. So it's going to be pretty hard for a woman to continuously have sex with a guy without getting attached to him, like almost like she would her husband. Okay. These are just facts, ladies. Okay. And once that happens, if you didn't make no ground rules, like you didn't say to him, hey, I don't have sex without being exclusive. Like those are my rules. I don't have casual sex with people. And, it's really important to me that I know that I'm in a monogamous situation. We both go get tested and stuff. Like I really take my body and my health, and it's very sacred to me. Or even if you wait until you get married, hey, it is what it is. Your standards and your boundaries are that. And that's really going to get his eyes open, especially on that wife level. But if you're doing these things without the ground rules and you've given him all this, because that's giving a guy a lot when you give him your body. You need to start, if you're one of those girls that take it so loose, I highly recommend you stop, okay? Stop, all right? Because you can never unsex that guy. And some people say it a lot more harsher, but I'm just going to say it like that. All right, he keeps that forever. Now, when you're overextending like that and you're building up all these emotions and attachment and then you're only just dating him, then yes, you're going to want that call every day. You're going to want him up under you, and because you're being wifely towards him, if you will. If you're already cooking for him and having him all up in your crib and around your children and y'all not even exclusive yet, yes. Because you're going through the act of it, you're releasing those bonding hormones, you're going to be wanting him to maintain it. But guess what? You have not sealed the deal with him. You have not. But you give him much. Or sweating the other chicks as far as in the past when some of you were paying for his stuff and buying him expensive gifts and like trying to buy love and all that other stuff. And I made a video about codependency as far as breaking it down, how a codependent tries to feel wanted by making themselves needed. Those are the situations where we're trying to buy love and whatnot. Okay. So yeah, sweating the other chicks. And it's also a reflection of insecurities, of course, and having a lack of self-esteem there. Okay. Because if you're looking in the mirror like, look, I don't care who else he's talking to. Like he about to forget about her. He's about to forget about her real quick. Once he starts spending time with me because I'm A1. And then if he doesn't, what's yours is yours and what's not is not. That only means that somebody else better is out there. All right. So, I don't want you guys to be sweating that. I just want you to be realistic. And that's on my list as well. I'm just going to be jumping around on my list as it falls, naturally into the conversation. But the main thing that I want is for you guys to work with reality, work with what's real instead of being in resistance and fighting against it. It may be some harsh realities and things that you may not like about dating a man or, being out here in the fish pond again and all this stuff, but use it to your advantage instead of having resistance towards it. Okay. Work with reality instead of running from it, instead of complaining about it. That's not going to get you the results. Work with it. When you start understanding human nature and, because I highly recommend studying psychology. You guys study the narcissist a lot, but just study psychology, period. It's going to take you far in all your human relationships. All right. And have that open mind. And instead of just seeing it as a negative, just work with it. Okay. How can I use this information to my advantage? Okay. I know this about men. I know that about men. How can I use it to my advantage instead of complaining about it? Because guess what? It's not going to change. There's still going to be a man. They're still going to do this and that. How can I use this to my advantage? Knowing this. All right. So let's work with reality, guys. Let's work with the facts. All right. So the next thing that I want to say to you guys is to be careful about being the pursuer. You know, when feminine and masculine energy is set up, it's not made for you to be a direct pursuer. Now, I'm not saying that you can't have your eyes on a guy and put yourself in position for him to see, or basically for him to find you, for him to notice you, for him to come up to you. I'm not saying that you can't put yourself in place for that, but you shouldn't be the pursuer. You should never be chasing a man, ever, 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 ever. Okay? You should never be chasing a man for any reason. And let me tell you a very toxic reason that I find women chasing men, trying to figure out his dysfunctions. Let's say, you know, he was on good behavior. Yeah, I'm talking to him like he's a puppy, right? Let's say he was on good behavior for a month or two, and then you see a decline in his behavior. And you're like, why you don't call me anymore? Why we not going out anymore? Is everything okay? And then I'm like, look, too many questions right off the rip. Because number one, the chances of him being honest with you are slim to none. Okay? Because we're trying to figure him out through this verbal conversation, we could just look at his actions. And that's all you really need to know from a man. Look at what he's doing and not what he's saying per se. Yes, listen to what he's saying. Because, yeah, we can make accountability for people breaking promises, not delivering what they said. You know, oh, you said you was this, but you're really that. Okay? That's for you to make note of. And you're going to see that based off of what? His actions. Because men know, seasoned men and playboys and narcissists know that people like to hear what they want to be told. So if I tell this woman everything she wants to hear, chances are she's going to fall for it. Even if I'm not even doing the stuff that's following it up. But no one that listens to my channel is going to fall for that any further or going to be naive. Okay? Coming into contact with a channel like this should break you out of stuff like that, because we see where that just, you know, it just hurts you, just sets you up. So, you know, pay attention to a man's actions over his words, because they will tell you everything. They will promise you the moon and stars. You guys should know this by now, right? And yet do the complete opposite or not even half of that. Okay. And in some cases, none of it. Like they just sold you a bunch of magical beings, right? And they weren't even magical, right? Were they even beings? Like for real, sometimes it really gets that serious, ladies. So please do not try to figure out his dysfunction. Just recognize it as a red flag. And you know, that's that imbalance a lot of times that survivors have as being this premium caretaker, but you're not his mama, you're not his therapist, you're not his wife, okay? So why do you have to sit there and take on that? When you can just be on to the next, that don't have all this emotional baggage, that don't need to be dusted off, okay? Who got time and energy for that? Is taking energy from your purpose, taking energy from that you need for other things in your life, okay? Putting yourself first, ladies, putting yourself first. You should be doing that in the dating world. You should just be doing that in life, period. But when you're dating, it's just that, dating. You're trying to see if this person is qualified. Once you see that they're not, they're disqualified, right? It's not for you to try to get them to a qualified point. It's either, look, are you qualified now or not? If not, okay, we'll go ahead down there with Sally. Maybe she might be more your speed. You're not ready for the salmon, right? They're not ready for the top dog yet. All right. So, I wanted to definitely mention that. The next thing that I have here, ladies, is about not getting carried away. And it kind of, you know, this is going into like a domino effect here from what I was previously talking about. Be able to, ladies, enjoy a good date without getting carried away. Because like I said in my last video, a lot of you have been used to being mistreated and not getting what you wanted. And now you start actually getting it. You could get carried away. Now let me just explain what I mean by that. That means, all right, maybe you have 4 or 5 good dates with a guy. You're already envisioning you guys married, you having his baby, and do. No, that can set you up for a real big drop down. Okay. So be very careful. Be able to be present in a moment and to enjoy something and say, I hope this continues. Put them on a damn probationary period. Okay. Even jobs do this before they hire people. Like, you can't be hired just because they did good, for a day or two or a few dates, You have to give it time, because all relationships have a honeymoon phase. And then once that fizzles out, let's see what's left after that. And then, there are some toxic guys that just love the honeymoon phase of the relationship. And that's all they really have with women. Then they just dump them and go to the next. Okay. Or some guys are really emotionally unavailable, but they're able to keep on their mask for that short amount of time in the honeymoon phase. And then, you find out they can't maintain it. It's not who they really are and all that other stuff. Like, you really just don't know. And that's why you can't always take people at face value. We know narcissists presented themselves very well, right? They're really good at first impressions, usually, right? So we have to keep that in mind. So the more perfect he look and the more perfect he acting, the more I'm going to be watchful. And it doesn't mean that there aren't any guys out there that be a great match for you, but just be careful. Just be careful. Don't allow yourself to get carried away and swept away because this person came in almost too perfect, okay? Because nobody's perfect. Nobody is perfect, ladies. Along those lines, I want you to differentiate a wife versus a girlfriend. Now, just because I told you need to present yourself as a wife, meaning show them that you have the capabilities, to be that for him. Once you're actually the wife, though, in the beginning, you should just be, you should be decent. You should be decent. You show that you have morals, that you have a brain in your head, that you're classy and whatnot like that. But it doesn't mean that you should be cooking his meals, doing his laundry, cleaning his whole house, and just actively being that wife. But he knows that your house is clean eventually when he sees yours, or that your car is always clean. He knows how you carry yourself. He could tell by the conversations that you guys have and, what you place value on in life. He could see it in you without getting those benefits, because guess what? You're not the wife yet. So always keep that in mind and keep him in his place. Okay, because guess what? He didn't put a ring on it yet. And studies do show a lot of times when you're giving it all up like that, that ring doesn't come, or it comes hella later, because he's already getting it all now. All right, so be that girl to stand out, to say, well, one day when I have a husband, I'll definitely love to do this and that for him. But for right now, I'm just dating and seeing, So there's ways to let him know that you have those traits and qualities, of course, without him getting all those French benefits, without paying the real dues. All right. So let's keep that in mind. All right. So I have here, making sure you're setting standards, and that goes back a little bit when we were just talking about sweating the other chicks, and like a standard, like I don't have sex without commitment, without being a monogamous, without that being, understood, so to speak. So whatever those other standards are, just set them and keep them, ladies. And if you don't want to respect it, that's on him, right? All right. And again, I want to reiterate putting yourself first. And I said this in the other video, if you're not willing to put yourself first, you're not even ready to be dating to begin with, okay? Now, the last thing that I wanted to put here on this list is, just understanding what men want, okay? And I made another video that talked about this a lot, but I'm going to go ahead and say it here in a video like this because it's really good to reiterate this. Men don't want what women want. Okay. What do we want? We want to feel loved and all this other stuff, right? That's typically what we want. We want to be provided for, right? That's typically what women want. Protected, that's what we want. Professing in love, providing and protecting for us. That's what we typically want from a man, right? But what do men want? Men want to feel respected and they want to feel needed. All right. So if a man doesn't feel like you respect him, and certainly if he doesn't feel like you need him, then, that's going to be a turn off to him and his testosterone. He has nowhere to direct it with you. Okay. Because if you don't respect him, that's, emasculating him or, making him feel like less of a man. And then if he doesn't feel needed, it's like, what can I do for you anyway? So there's many ways to make a man feel needed in your life. Okay. And even like on a dating round, like, let him do any heavy lifting. Let him pump the gas, let him open the doors, even just little things like that. And as the relationship progress, you can make situations to where, he's doing something masculine for you. All right. Give him stuff to do, even if it's something small. Oh, babe, can you just pick this up from the store for me? Or, if you're having something with your car, even if you know how to do it, girl, play dumb. It's okay to play dumb with car stuff because they don't expect you to know. All right. Don't try to get brownie points and be trying to seem like one of the fellas because under the hood better than him. Look, you don't have to know everything. I mean, after you get married, you can let them know, whatever. But, it's okay. Like, I'm trying to figure out if I got enough oil in my car. Like, I think you got to dip the stick and you guys are probably laughing with me, but yeah, or if you guys are on a date, I think my tire had like a little bit of air. Can you ride with me to the gas station so to check the air in my tire? Bam, that makes him feel manly or something. Or if you had like a legit situation, like you caught a flat tire or, I know I'm sticking to a lot of car situations, but those are like really easy ones. You know what I mean? So, just present yourself well. And I want to talk about another aspect of presenting as well. Actually, this is just dropping into my head because in the last video we talked about presenting as well, as far as the art of seduction and your words, your energy, your scent, your body language, and your appearance. But I want to also talk about another aspect of presentation, and this is as far as, trust me, most men out here are trying to have a radar for what they would consider to be a gold digger. That's a woman that may just be after a man just for his money, right? So they're constantly trying to skim you, probably in the beginning part of getting to know you, to find out if you're one of them, okay? Especially if they have much to offer, okay? And they're looking for a real wife. So you want to always, as far as your presentation, present yourself as somebody that's about something, someone that has purpose in their life. Maybe you do things in the community, or you have meaningful work, or you just have all these goals and ambitions that you actively have achieved or actively are working on. He needs to see that in you. Because there's nothing wrong with, eventually, getting a guy to do this or that. And then some women like, I want a guy to pay all my bills and do. And yeah, you can actually get to that place with a guy. You can get to that place, but don't try to get to that place because you have such a need, such a void. You ever hear about situations where men just offer to do stuff? You don't even need it. They're just offering it to you. People tend to offer you things, and this is psychology. They will offer you things because you don't need it. It makes them want to give it to you that much more than if you have that need. And I know that sounds really weird, but you can watch some videos on YouTube where they put beautiful women on the street to get money, and then they put homeless people on the street to get money. Guess who got the most money? The beautiful woman that didn't look like she needed it. She got the money. So appearances really matter. So if you're still in the process of getting yourself together, and maybe you feel like, you know what, I don't have the right clothes. I need a new wardrobe. I need a new haircut. I need to get better makeup, Lakia. I don't have my shapewear and my undergarments yet. Or I don't even have the gym membership to start working out. Like, you know, you could walk in your neighborhood, jog in your neighborhood too, work out for free, calisthenics videos on YouTube. I'll just introduce that and throw that in there real quick. But, you know, if you feel like it's little shortcuts that you can take to get things. If you feel like you're on a tighter budget, you go to the mall. If you live, especially if you live near a mall before your days, you can go on there and put on your favorite perfume. If you couldn't afford to pay $120, $150 for that bottle of perfume, you know, there's ways you can get makeup samples and all types of stuff. Like, they'll do your makeup at the counters. And now I think some of them are starting to try to ask for tips or have a little price for it. But for the most part, you go to Macy's or something. You can go to the Lancome. I don't know if the MAC people charge, but I think Lancome is better than MAC makeup anyway. I don't know. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. I love my Lancome. I'm very loyal to them. But either way, there's ways to get things. And then sometimes you have to fake it until you make it. Like, when he's calling you, oh, I had the worst day of my life. Oh, I thought about my ex-narc, and look, be a ray of sunshine. And you might say, that's like really fake and phony, Lakia. But I just want him to see you as, you know, not his stress. You're not going to be the next person in line to like dump all your shit on him. And like, he don't want to feel that, you know. You could rope him in, ladies, but you ain't going to rope him in that way. Like, you need to be his piece, for real. You need to be his piece, but he need to be yours too, obviously. But I'm just telling you how to set this thing up. And then, you know, over time, when you need to do stuff, there's ways that you'll be able to go about it. And we'll talk about that in other videos to get your needs met. You know, when you start laying down those ground rules. But that's why you start from the beginning. And that's why I told you guys in part 1, you start out in those 5-star restaurants. Okay. So he ain't even going to be ever used to shorting you. You know, he know you ain't wearing no Family Dollar makeup. He know you going to the Macy's to get yours. You know what I mean? He already know, because you already set that standards up high from the rip. Okay. So get yourself together. And that's why I always say, get yourself together first. Get yourself together first. Like, I'd rather not step out than step out, you know, like that. Come on. Have some dignity about yourself, okay? And be already treating yourself the way you want him to treat you, okay? Because then you can really say it and be the most sincere about it. But if you got to fake it until you make it, then fake it until you make it as well. But the good thing about faking it until you make it, there's repetition there. And that starts to seep into your subconscious. And that's why it's okay to fake it until you make it at times, all right? So I hope that this part 2 video here has helped somebody and, you know, thinking about going out here and dating again and starting another relationship, or, you know, seeing what's out there. And then let me just say this too. Things just keep popping into my head. You don't have to. And this is what I see a lot of survivor women. I'm just a one-woman man. I'm just a one-woman man. And I just, you know, I'm going to just date him. But it's okay to keep your options open too, just like him early on. It's okay. The thing is, and I'm in my office, guys. Let me cut this off. All right. Goodness. I hope I didn't lose my train of thought. But But, yeah, the whole thing is, you want to give yourself all the options as well, because you really don't know if he's going to make it or not. If people go for a job, they're interviewing a whole bunch of people. Okay. Just keep things on the surface as far as how much you're physically and emotionally investing. Everybody, you should be sleeping with everybody you're interviewing for the job. You shouldn't be sleeping with anybody you're just interviewing for the job. Okay. So if you're not overly investing yourself or overly attaching yourself, you're not going to feel like you're doing something wrong by seeing other people. It's when you're over giving and you're enmeshing with them to begin with that you're feeling like you have to do that. But remember, we're doing something different to get a better result. He needs to show you why you should not keep your options open, okay? He shouldn't just be automatically getting that right off the rip, okay? And then I know that some of you are going to hop under here and say, well, Lakia, I hear what you're saying, but I like to date one guy at a time, and that's that. Okay. Yay, do you. I'm just, I give you guys suggestions. Take what you want to do from your journey and don't. But I'm giving you the big mama advice right here. I'm giving that to you. You can take it or not. And my suggestion is not to be exclusive before you're exclusive. Not to be exclusive before you're exclusive. The whole idea is, and this is how you play that, ladies, you never make him feel like there's 1,000 guys in a picture. Don't make him feel that way, obviously. Be discreet about that. Unless you need to use it to show him when he needs to be disciplined for some reason. Unless you need to pull that card out in a strategic situation, then do that. Okay, let's say, boom, you was supposed to go on a date with him and he stood you up or something. This is after you guys have gotten into the relationship or something. And you knew where he was going to be or somewhere, or, you end up still going to that place with your backup person. And you put a little picture up on social media. And I know this is not messy, but this is just to show him, like, you're not stopping nothing. You're not stopping nothing because you guys are only on the dating level. So that's going to get him. Oh, that's how you're going to do. That's how you're going to do. I would be no contact. It would take, I would have to think of other variables in the situation before I would even think of talking to him again. I would be no contact, but it would send him back on a chase. It would send him back on a chase. Okay. And then if that guy had a better car than him or something, what? Or you upgraded, even went higher than the place that he was going to take you? It's ways to discipline a man, girls. But it's not through bitching at him and complaining. That's the least likely way. Talking to him and try to pull it out of him. Actions. You have to take actions, okay? So like I said, before you guys decide to be exclusive, keep your options open. Even if you just have them in your back pocket, keep your options open until. Okay? So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Of course, there's going to be a part 3, but I'm trying to keep these all like 40 minutes and under because I know we all have lives and stuff, right? And then my throat started getting dry. And then it's like, Lakia, I want to hear you, but can you talk when your voice is not like that? All right. So if this video resonates with you, go ahead and hit that like button. All right. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you are welcome to subscribe to my channel. I put up all types of information here to help you have healthy relationships with yourself, of course, and with your environment or, people in your life and whatnot. Right. I do offer one-on-one coaching. And, if you're getting backed out there and dating and you want to kind of like have that support in your back pocket to make sure, okay, A, that you're even ready, but B, that you're not, doing things that are going to come back to bite you in the butt, right? You're not repeating cycles and whatnot. It's great to go ahead and get that coaching. I have bundles, guys. You can get 3 hours, 4 hours, 10 hours of coaching services for me because I coach over a whole lot of topics, not just narcissistic abuse, guys, for anything. If you're setting goals in your life, you know, getting back out there and dating. And I can be that person that you can call, hey, Lakia, can we do a half an hour session today? I met a guy. Let me run it down to you. Let me tell you what's going on. I have a date tomorrow. We're going here. You know, what do you think? You know, you want to be strategic about, you know, advancing that relationship and just making sure you're intercepting your old patterns and whatnot. Coaching would be great for that. You can go to LakiaCrawford.com and, you know, set up your bundles, guys, and they're priceless. They're definitely priceless. All right. With all of that being said, if you are a survivor of narcissistic abuse, I do have a free support group over on Facebook. That link is beneath all of my channels. For all my family-oriented survivors or my single moms here listening to this, I do have a new channel called Lakia Crawford. It was Mommy Life with 6, but I just decided to make it Lakia Crawford. I have several vlogs up there. It's a parenting channel that I set up, and I'm going to be doing a lot of videos on giving parenting advice. And then in between all of that, I got my family vlogs. You get a little glimpse into my personal life. So you can feel free to come on over there and have fun on that channel with me as well. With that being said, guys, I've written all kinds of books. I have No Narc Zone merchandise on my website, LakiaCrawford.com. Ebooks are available, though, through Amazon and Barnes & Nobles, through the books that I've written. They're very therapeutic books and lots of pearls of wisdoms to help you get over breakups, narcissistic abuse, help you actually elevate your mind. That's the beauty of the I book. And for those of you who have been sexually abused, I did write a book called Silent Tears. And that's a therapeutic book that you can go through in the privacy of your home, no matter how long ago that happened. And, you know, I'm pretty sure that you will find some closure and healthy perspectives with that trauma as well. All right. With that being said, guys, thank you for tuning in to my channel. I love the way that it's growing. Thank you for everyone that supports. Great ways to support the channel is always to have or hit that like button and leaving comments. It helps push this content out in YouTube world, right? We need to get this information out there because I get there's so many young ladies, you know, I grew up without a mom, guys. And that's why this is very passionate to me. I lost her at the age of 7. She passed away when I was 7. And another woman never stepped in her shoes to school me on men and having this emotional maturity to make me ahead of the game, you know. And I had to learn the hard way. So this is a part of me just trying to pay it forward. Okay. I don't learn the hard way. You don't have to. And for some of you who have already been through stuff, you don't have to continue to, right? So, you know, talk to your daughters and your nieces and, your sisters and, you know, whoever, your friends, whoever, pass these videos on to them, bring them over to the channel if you think it would be helpful to them. It's something here for everybody. All right. This series is primarily for the female survivors, but, you know, I have information on here that can help men and women. All right. With that being said, guys, what do I say at the end of all of my videos? Never give up on yourself. Continue to do the work, of course. And until next time, please take care.